Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on back to the College Cod Bravo stream. We got Illini Orange and FSU going up against each other. Myself, Seymour, alongside Camber once again. And Cam, how you feeling about this match?
This is one of the good ones here, Seymour. I mean, two of the powerhouse teams in the CCL, top 25 ranked pretty much all year long. Like I say, Illini, one of those staple teams, Florida State, making a big name for themselves, of course, this year. And it's really just going to be a great matchup. I mean, the fact that they've both fallen into losers bracket, they've made this run to get to this point. It almost feels like a winner's bracket type match because both of these teams have so much to offer. So it's really going to be a good one. And we got a good map set here, Express in the lineup. Down the stage in the losers bracket, winner go home. When you have an Express, you know that's going to bring the vibe. So really excited for this series.
The winner's bracket game in disguise all the way down to the loser's bracket. So why don't we take a look at this home team and introduce Illini Orange ahead of us. We get to see him here. You know him. I know him. Crit, Exy, Ghosty, Shoofy. Tell me about him.
Oh, I mean, these guys play so good together. Crit, your main AR, really going to be a big player to focus on. The way he's anchoring things, it's going to be Garrison to start. So can he get into some power positions, maybe work on some streaks? And then you said Shoofy, obviously the big playmaker on the front line. You got to watch out for him as well. You see the differential on average, almost 100-point clubbing teams. They're winning by 117. It's going to be, like I said, Garrison to start. I mean, they're 2-0 on that map and mode, so that's a lot to look for. And then also search and control. They're not dropping off when it goes to those off-game modes either.
Not at all, not one bit, but neither is FSU Garnet. So why don't we take a look at our away team here? Florida State University Garnet squad consisting of Lep, Equal, Japo, and Rawson. Why don't we talk a little bit about this squad here? Because this squad has kept me, has been on my radar, and I had them going pretty far in this series. Fortunately, they did drop down, but here to make a name.
Absolutely. Yeah, you go over to these stats. They look pretty attractive too. 12-2, 38-9 map count. The differential and hardpoint starts to drop a little bit, so you give the advantage over to Illini there. But in search and destroy is where it gets better. 12-3, better differential there. Same thing with control. So, I mean, just based on those stats alone, you're looking at Illini to maybe win the hardpoint, and then for FSU Garnet, they're going to be focusing on those specialty modes. The search, that swing map and control could be absolutely massive. But again, we have Express and Miami in search and destroy. Those are some of the lesser experienced maps for a lot of these teams. So that's going to make things extremely interesting.
It's going to be interesting for those 2s and those 5s because 2s and 5s, like you said earlier in the day, search and destroy, they win championships. I mean, how many times do we have to repeat it for Call of Duty? Everybody knows it. It's again and again and again. Search and destroy maps are so big, but we get to see Big Express for that map number 2, not before we see Garrison for that hard point. As you do see those maps above my head, Garrison, Express, Checkmate, Moscow, Hardpoint, Miami across the whole line. It's going to be an interesting run for this. And honestly, for both squads, I feel like this is going to be a backyard brawl because I don't see any of these maps favoring one side or the other.
I mean, we just looked at the statistics. Like, you look at the individual statistics for the individual maps, everything is so deadlocked. These teams really match up on paper extremely well. And like we said, the fact that they're even in the losers bracket is almost a shock to a lot of people. So this is almost like a winner's bracket in of its own. And it's going to be an all-out brawl to not go home. Like, this is the peak level of what's on the line. There couldn't be anything more on the line. Your season ending if you lose it. So I know there's probably some fans watching this one that are holding on to their superstitions, shaking in their boots a little bit, but it should be a good matchup. And whichever team comes out on top, is going to at least have won a gruesome battle.
I'm a big fan for superstitions when it comes to the playoffs, Cam. And one big superstition that lies dormant in CCL all year long is playoff crit. And playoff crit, I talked about it last night. I'll talk about it again right now. Illini Orange is another animal in the playoffs here. And off the back of crit right here, FSU Garnet, they have to be watching for that player. If they can shut down crit in this series, they are really going to stick it to Illini Orange in this game. I feel like he is that one X factor that Illini Orange have to keep up. So I want to hear from you for FSU Garnet. Who is that player to go toe-to-toe with crit?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think when you bring up crit, it just instantly goes to the clutch gene, the fact that he's so experienced. And then I think on the other side of things, you look at the kill-death ratios, everybody's sporting a really good one right now, but you're probably looking at your captain, especially for FSU Garnet being the team that's looking to win the search and destroy and the control. I think Daniel Dobsky, he's going to have a big one, calling the shots for everybody, and especially when it gets into search and destroy in the playoffs, those brain games, we just saw it in that Ryerson game, become so important, drawing out rounds to kind of mess with your opponent. Those kind of plays can be really important. So it's going to have to come from the IGL, looking at the captain and Daniel.
Definitely, everybody's going to be on their toes. This is going to be a firing match number one on Garrison Hardboy. You know how fast it goes. You know how important the submachine guns are in this map. So I want to hear from your point of view for Garrison Hardpoint. For these teams to come out swinging, what's going to give them an advantage at Garrison?
Yeah, we talked about this a little earlier on. I think it's those power positions. You can't sleep on those. I mean, getting top green is such a big spot because you can take it to P2 when you want to have that rotation. You can kind of see some pretty important sight lines. Obviously, that's going to be huge. And then how well are you finessing as a submachine gun player with that slight pinch you have over on the plat side running through mid? It's almost like a little submachine guns playground down there. So there's a lot that can happen. I think a lot of players look at it as a close quarter submachine gun map. So you definitely look at those frontline players. But we mentioned Crit. I think if he can get into a power spot, he can also have a big impact in this game. It's going to be interesting. You can string together the hills so well here too, I think.
I totally agree. In this first map, I mean, we talked about our the last series that Cruisin and I had going on for each other between E4 Knights and St. Clair Saints, and we're talking about how it was very momentous of a match between the both of them, and whoever was holding the momentum was going to lead into the following map. So I think so I have the idea that whoever comes out with this map number one, going to be feeling good going into Express Search and Destroy, and I feel like whoever wins this one is going to most likely have the better odds to go up 2-0 possibly in this game.
Ooh, so we could be seeing some kind of reverse sweeps potentially is what you're kind of
Possibly.
getting into my
Momentum's
ear.
gonna be big.
I like the sound of that. I think Express is going to be really interesting too. And oftentimes, if you have a strategy that works for you on what maybe is a go-to map of Moscow or one of the more common checkmate search and destroy maps, but when it gets to Express, I mean, there's a lot more inexperience on the line. Adjustments become so much more important, I think, is the point I'm trying to make. So once we get there's going to be a lot to break down for sure. Garrison is one, obviously, teams have tons of experience on. So it's really going to come down to who's got the bigger guns after the regular season, the better practice on it.
And it's going to be a big thing holding onto this momentum as well, because I mean, we all know watching this Illini Orange team kind of come to fruition throughout the CCL year, you know, it's a very fast squad. You know, they're a high pace team and they're going to be setting their own tempo when it comes to that. It's going to be on Florida State University to shut down this tempo and try to slow down this game style for Garrison Hardpoint. It's a tough task, but if anybody's going to do it, it's FSU Garnet.
Yeah, I mean, they have the higher kill death ratios too up and down the border. I mean, both teams, like you say, top 25 all year long in the power rankings. The division's obviously a little bit different, but I think you're right. Yeah, Illini is probably the team that most people are looking at. Probably got the most predictions on the bracket, so they're the ones who kind of have to come out and fend off the target on their back against FSU.
Yeah.
But like you said, FSU is definitely a team that you have to be worried about fending off because they're really, really good. They've had a great year themselves. And I can't wait for the match to start because I know these are going to be close matches.
Well, I know these teams are in the lobby and they're ready to go. So why don't we just hop right in with this Garrison Hardpoint and see these two teams match up? I'm excited to see Illini Orange go up against this FSU Garnet squad. We know they're side by side in standings, that they're neck and neck when it comes down to it. Illini Orange, number 2 seed here, so they are, like I said, the heavily favored with that 52% favor on their side. FSU Garnet, they can come out with this win, they're going to be feeling good after this victory.
Yeah, and you also look at too the competition that these guys are going against for Illini. It's been great all year long. Like they've been in a tough division. Same thing on the other side. So it's like they're ready for this moment is kind of the point I'm trying to get at there. And also the fact that you have lost already, that plays a big role into this too. Like how are you able to kind of regather after that, recompose yourself? You know what's on the line today. Back is against the wall, obviously, to keep your hopes alive in the CCL playoffs. So
doesn't get any
I don't know what
harder
more you
after
can
this.
say.
Doesn't get any harder after this. I mean, the winner of this faces the loser of Humber and Carleton, so it doesn't get any easier for these teams as it goes on. We're starting to get closer to that championship Sunday, and these teams are just getting better and better every single stream that we see, and the gameplay is just out of this world. The stakes have never been higher. This team's playing for $25,000, Cam.
Yeah, the gradual climb from the start of the season to now has been so cool to watch. The competition level continue to rise. Watching these teams get better, understand the game more, to where now, like we're talking about, everything has just risen to a whole new level. Our production, like the whole thing, just climbing to this big point right now that we're at, the paramount point in the playoffs. It's been so fun this weekend. It's great that we're not done yet, too. I mean, tomorrow's the big day, Championship Sunday, that everyone better be setting their alarms for, waking up and being ready to go, because there's going to be memories had tomorrow.
The championship Sunday is just chef's kiss. Every single time I hear that word, it just gives me goosebumps.
Yeah.
Whenever it comes down to that. But these teams definitely starting to get this game ready. I'm just on edge as you guys are to see this game unfold. But they are taking their lovely time to hop into that. Nonetheless, at CCL, we love everything that goes on because it is CCL to the moon. And I want to hear from you, Cam, before we hop in this. I don't usually ask, but who's your prediction into this game?
Oh, I was hoping you wouldn't ask. But no, I mean, I think it's an interesting one, and I don't know if I'm gonna probably catch flack for this, but anytime I see that a team is kind of winning those specialty game modes, I kind of lean towards it. If it does come down to the search and destroys and the control, then you're looking at FSU Garnet. But if it's whichever team has more firepower, you're obviously looking at Illini. I hate to, don't put me on the spot like that, man.
I don't want to put you on the spot like that, but you know what? I'm in the same boat. I'm an FSU fan here, so let's hop into this game.
Yeah, let's let them decide.
Let's hop. Okay, so I'm getting
right, we'll go to the other game.
I'm getting word that we're having trouble with the Illini Orange at FSU Garnet, so we still gotta wait a little bit to see these two teams unfold. I'm sorry for putting you on the spot, Camber. I wanted to hear your take on that, but we are gonna hop in with their Delta stream and see the E4 Knights take on Eagles Caught Gold. You see them both going on right now. E4 Knights leading 116 to 84 in this hard point, but it's checkmate, and everybody knows that this can bounce back and forth.
Oh, this is another huge match, a slugfest, really. And yeah, another two great teams that find themselves in the losers bracket. That's when these matches get so gruesome. And yeah, we're already midway into this one. E4 Knights building up a bit of a lead, but already zoning things out. Or Eagles COD, they are here on P1. Can they keep these players away from the plane so that Gunley can keep soaking the time? Here comes the contest from Santi straight up the middle. He's going to find that big kill. So now they're back onto it. It's going to be a contest for a little while here as they fight for map control.
Contested so far, but E4 Knights holding on to that lead. They just came off of a map 4 victory over the St. Clair Saints, a team that was setting waves in the Call of Duty college scene. But Eagles got gold. They have their test definitely for E4 Knights as well, and this test looking so good right now. Jumper 19 and 10 off the rip, and Kyle, the Brazilian, had such a phenomenal series last time against the Saints, and right now 24 and 12, not slowing down with the 74U. Full plane control. You see this, the rotations in favor of Eagles Caught Gold, but RJ Santi knocking on the door, and that is a big break for E4.
Yeah, and you make a great point. It is a scary sight for Eagles COD when your 1-2 punch for E4 and Jumper and Kyle are heating things up like they are. Kyle with 26 and 12. Anytime you look at the scoreboard and see that, you know that these guys are clicking on all cylinders. They got the rotation down here. They're already at Q2. Nobody's even close to getting there on a contest. They're starting to push these front line even further back on Eagles. This is a big tipping point in the match where E4 are about to put this potentially into the closing stages if a break doesn't come through.
We've got playing control right now. E4 Knights banking on the door of the 200 points. A big break now from Eagles Caught Gold through the yellow crate. Jumper to shut them down for the cut, but now it's right now that one-on-one between Jumper and Sketchy inside the point going towards E4 Knights. Another break for the last scrap time. And it's going to force Eagles Caught Gold to try to play for this rotation in P3. This next hill is going to be so crucial, so big for these teams.
Yeah, it's going to be huge, but you also don't want to give over this last 15 seconds. Gunley realizing that, trying to challenge on in. He's going to fall. Jumper just continuing to be huge. He's jumping up to 24 and 10. He's on a streak. He's found both his artillery and his crews. That's going to come in potentially pretty big to close things out. I mean, it won't let Eagles get anything going, and they have to, like you said, make a perfect P3 hill, which is not easy to do.
Not at all. You are not gonna have a 100-point club, so that's gonna feel a little bit better for Georgia Southern University. But right now, in control of this P3, Santi on the side. You talk about that 1-2 punch. Well, there's the 1. Where's the 2? Big double kill from Eagles Caught to shut that punch down. The site right now uncontested. The shrieks coming from Jumper, knock out Eagles Caught Gold, and now it's a foot race to get back on this hill.
Yeah, and E4, I like what they're doing here, just zoning out the map more. Finally, they're going to get on the hill, but there was no rush to do that with the lead they have. Just make sure you're playing for map control because it's really going to be the closeout hill on the next one. Just make sure you're set up for that. But if you do find the kills, do exactly what they're doing now. Get on the point. Get as much time as you can before that rotation. They know exactly what they're doing. They're closing things out right now. Eagles, this is a tough one, but again, they're a really good team. You have to expect them to bounce back here in the next one.
Still have the cruise missile for Jumper as well. And an artillery for Kyle. That swept under my radar. 33-15. Could only imagine the streaks that this guy has gained through this round. The Eagles got gold now. Big break onto it. Has a one-on-one between Dave. Dave coming out on top with that. Finally broke it from Sketchy once more. The nade from his teammate T. Got to take him out and leave the hill uncontested for a short while before Eagles Caught hops right back onto it. Streaks now from Jumper. Cruise missile. Looking to bend it like Beckham right on the head of Sketchy. T-shirt still on this hill, so the streak's not good enough to break it. But E4 Knights just knocking down there. Only 8 points to win.
Yeah, it feels like a matter of time. You only need 8 points. It's a matter of when is this break going to happen? How long can Eagles COD stay perfect? Finally, the streaks come through from Kyle. That's enough to create a little opening for Jumper. He's in on the point. Pre-fires are there, and E4 closed that one out. Really, really good stuff there, and it's exactly what you're looking for at the start of a series, to see your two best players red hot out of the gates, leading you right to the victory.
Oh, no doubt at all. E4 Knights keeping their playoff run looking sharp. Well, we do have that Illini match ready to go, so we are going to hop right back on with that Bravo matchup. Waste no time at all, and it is going to be Garrison Hardpoint even right now as we are moving into this P3 locked down by Illini Orange.
That dual stream is beautiful. Jumping right into the next game. Beautiful stuff, and it's a good one as expected. Illini right now trying to fight from the opposite side. It's not going to be easy, but Ghosty trying to find some kills as his players get on the point. The close spawn coming through for FSU Garnet, and for Illini, yeah, get some of this time, but try to force him back in there as the rotation for the next hill is going to be important. Don't want to spawn any players out here, and we'll have to pay attention to it. Number 4 spawns up on the right side, so they're going to be good for the next one.
Big wipe for FSU Garnet, but with this spawn up, if you catch these players out for FSU, you might be able to start off this spawn kill. You do have some exit strategies from FSU at the moment. Lep going to be that one at the moment. We're pushing into the elbow, getting it behind some characters, but does get cleaned up by Ghosty. So now set up for P4 at the door. And in this, you know how dangerous this can be. So 2 kills go to FSU Garnet as they are breaking out. XL and Equal goes to look for that bridge control. Shufi occupying it at the moment. Nobody on site as it is FSU. Gonna hop right back in. A nice 2-piece to get the time.
Yeah, FSU take advantage of that exit strategy, and it's just a little bit sloppy for Illinois to try to get their setup down. That creates an opportunity. FSU kind of capitalizing on it now. They have the map control. They have the height advantage. They should be able to get onto this point to soak up some time. For Illini, it's a matter of taking a big breath here and trying to regain some map control.
Rawson in that green control. We were talking about it earlier. This is the tree trunk of Garrison. That green opens up so many openings for this map. Right now dominated by FSU Garnet. 2 picks early from Ghosty, though, for this rotation. P5 is going to unlock very shortly. 10 seconds left on this floating take hill. And you're looking for the rotations at the moment. FSU has to be careful because if they get wiped here, they are going to be in the unlucky spawns of back tank.
This is when it gets interesting. Yeah, so much can happen on this hill. You got to be trying to influence the spawns as best as you can. It's going to be Illini spawning up there in the back, but at least they have some control on the hill. Rosin's just going to be hiding out here. He knows that he has a chance to make a big play. Waiting for these players to develop around him as he finds the first one to Ghosty. Now he turns towards the hill, but he can't really find anything there. So it's going to be his teammates who try to step up and help him out. Illini are just camping out on the hill. Finally, some kills start to come through. Garnet starting to strangle their way onto this hill. But big trades come back from Exy and Ghosty. They're still on this point. Illini starting to put some time together there.
As expected from these 2 heavy hitters, a close game, almost dead even. 20 points differentiating these 2 squads. Still some scrap time to be gained on this 0.5 before we go back to that 1. Exy with a big kill into that elbow is going to keep Exy watching the small window. FSU Garnet setting up for this rotation to that first point hill. At the first set of rotations end, it is going to be Illini Orange with a considerable lead.
This has been a huge hill for them. One that's not typically you're going to grab a lot of time on, but they're able to do it. Now a rotation comes in. The spawns are kind of going back and forth. There's actually going to be a couple of Illini players coming out of Darkroom, so they're able to get right to the hill. They're going to string this together. This is a chance to extend the lead. Again, we talked about it at the beginning. Those power positions can be so big. Can somebody get up there in top green before FSU does? It seems like the route's going to come through from Equal eventually.
FSU has to be careful because Illini Orange, they are blowing this game open so far. So FSU has to break this early, get the rotations, take Illini off these power positions. Right now, you're lucky at the moment. Not a lot of players showing up for Illini with some heavy hitting stats. Kept pretty even. FSU is actually dominating the kill feed, it looks like, just not the point section.
Yeah, the heart coming out right now from Illini. And this isn't the worst spot for FSU. If they can just kind of waste some time here, they need to just be in control of P2. It's up for grabs right now. Ghosty's going to be the first one there. I really think teams need to be starting to think about that rotation as soon as even 30 seconds. Like, just go ahead and camp out over here. But it's going to be Illini who win this race. Now it's going to be their opportunity to extend this lead.
This lead's already extended quite a bit. Nice double kill from Ghosty. Can he make it 3? Equal loses his head. Brilliant from this player. 20-9 on a force spree right now. If he gets 3 more, he's going to lock down some streaks that, you know, on Garrison, they can turn up huge here. But look at FSU. They're going to group up and go for a brick hit.
This is huge. Ghosty's 3-piece is so big. really to just buy them some time. They can kind of get their setup in place. Crit is at least going to find one. A team kill helps out as well. Shufi up front's going to have the AR watching over. Ghosty's starting to work for some streaks, so he's just going to let him pick up the kills. Now he's up to 6. Massive stuff, and yeah, he could be 1 away from that artillery. 20 seconds here. Yes, you want to continue to get this time, but you can already see Garnet. They're doing the right thing. They're starting to focus up on the next one.
FSU has to chalk it. They got to play for these spawns here. Crit's already in the back of the map, and he can make a run for their money. All the players pushing through this platform opening. Number 6, the farthest up. That is going to be Rawson, but big flood right now from FSU, Garnet, Shufi, and Crit to put a damper in this play. Shufi already for the first one. He gets traded out. Playoff Crit now in the backline. Crit for another one. Lepto shuts him down. A big one-on-one win. Now it's time to work on these spawns, work on the hill. But FSU Garnet, they spawn all the way back P5.
Now Ghosty's able to get an artillery in his pocket as well. Able to clean that kill and lep up off the backside. You still have the close spawn. This is huge for Illini. These are closing moments. They're approaching the finish line here. If they could do it, but you got to pick up on these kills. It's going to be a team hit over through the middle in the tool section of the map. 2 players going to slide on in with the challenge. The team kill comes through, so that's going to slow down the push. And the close spawn's still there.
So this is big for FSU Garnet. Crit hops right back on this hill, but Exile is watching that. Exy is close, but Lep for the trades. You're looking at Illini Orange. They're giving it up. They're looking at P4, and this is where we saw Illini Orange break this game open. FSU Garnet, they had the exit strategy. Let's see if the adjustments come out from Illini.
Yeah, they have a little bit more time here to be ready for it. They're able to kind of trade things out to start. And, I mean, this is exactly what FSU has to do. They have to push out through this tool side and through dark. But it's not an easy thing to do. It's easier said than done. Shufi finding a big kill there. This power position so huge. Equal's going to be in a big spot to maybe try to create an opening. Rosin's doing that on the hill, so he might be able to get in there. Shufi's now in a tough spot as his teammates come off spawn, playing his life well. But it's pretty hectic right now, and this is a good move from FSU Garnet.
A big scrap hill again for FSU Garnet. You would expect Illini to have sharpened up their senses, but still look a little bit tense on that P4. Equal holding down this green control, and you see Illini Orange spawning all the way back P3. So hopping back on this floating tank squad, they can win off this hill. So Florida State University are going to have to hop back on this. Garnet looking to break through this hill, but Crit taking so much damage before dropping, and somebody just takes his place. 4 seconds left. Illini Orange just going to spray down the lanes, and they are going to lock down this map 1, Cam. 250 to 109.
Oh, that is an impressive start to this series for Illini, and it just goes to show the preparation. You know that they're watching VOD, and they're ready for this kind of thing. They know exactly what to do on this map. This rotation was huge. Ghosty puts himself in the right spot at the right time to find 3 massive kills. Makes a big opening, and it's just, again, a really good start. But we mentioned in the beginning as well that FSU Garnet, they can fall back on Search and Destroy and Checkmate. Those have been solid game modes for them all year long.
You have to kind of point out here for Illini Orange that I highlighted Crit. Crit only had about 11. He was only 11 and 22 that whole thing. It was Ghosty. It was Ghosty out here for Illini Orange, locking it down and making sure that his AR was dominating Garrison Hardpoint. On the other side, Florida State Garnet, they were outslaying Illini that whole time. And to be losing at a deficit like that, about 150 points, that is not what you like to see as a Florida State fan.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It just comes down to heart at times. Who's going to be that kind of Doug Sensor Martin just playing the objective the whole time? Every single time you spawn up, the first thought in your head is, let me get to the hill. Those are the kind of plays that need to happen, regardless of what gun you're holding, regardless of what role you have. Everybody eventually has to get on the hill. I think everybody kind of is always like trying to be that Slayer, trying to play for those kills, and sometimes it's just all about getting on the point. That's what wins the game.
Exactly. I mean, I'm looking back at the end of that stream, and I see Crit just sitting on that P4. He's not going for kills. He's not challenging any gunfights. He's just making sure that he is on that hill and that Florida State can't gain any points at all. And just being a player like that is sometimes a lot more than getting those kills. So Illini Orange, off the back of some humble play styles, are going to go up 1-0 in this. And now we head to Express Search and Destroy. Talk to me a little bit about this map, Cam.
Oh, this is going to be so much fun. It's just, I mean, yeah, it's been here for a couple weeks now, but it still is pretty new. I mean, teams are still getting used to it and trying to figure out their strategies. And I think that's what makes it so fun, is there's so much versatility involved. You got some of those maps that are one-dimensional, like Checkmate, one bomb site the whole time. That's not what Express is. You can go to A, you can go to B, you can draw out rounds, you can play fakes. Ninja diffuses can happen. There's so many little corners you can hang out by over at A that create ninja diffuse opportunities. So we could be seeing some crazy stuff for sure. It's going to be interesting to see how aggressive they want to play it.
You're going down your shopping list here. He's like, we can see A, B,
We can see
C,
this, we can
D,
see that.
you know, whatever you want. This is back to the basics. You guys know, I mean, Black Ops 2 fans out here, Express Search and Destroy was it for this map. I love to see it. I'm excited to get onto this map. And both of these teams, you know, they've played Express quite a bit, but honestly, Cam, I don't really expect any of these teams really to be favored in the sense, like I've said again and again, but we get the dual stream out here. Look how beautiful this is. Express Search and Destroy for E4 Knights and Eagles caught as well, so we're going to go side by side on this baby.
The Polar Express!
Woo!
Two massive trains here on our screen at the same time. You love to see it. Black Ops 2. Imagine back in Black Ops 2, thinking 5-6 years down the road that you'd be watching this map in competitive Call of Duty. You might not believe it, but here we are, and it's FSU Garnet on one side. They pick up the big first round win. Believe they were on defense there, and then on the other side of things, you got E4 in this big matchup. It's unbelievable stuff. You gotta love it here in the CCL.
Hey, who would have thought that not just watching Express down the line, but watching two Expresses at the exact same time, back to back? Florida State Garnet are gonna hold on to this lead, and the E4 Knights kind of tugging away on their side as well.
Yeah, I think this is a big statement right now out of E4. I mean, Eagles have been that undefeated team all year. They've been really, really one of the teams everybody was looking at to make a big wave in the tournament. So for E4, huge stuff winning that first one. They're doing pretty well on the Search and Destroy. But we're focused in here too as well. This is a massive game for FSU Garnet to try to bring this series back. Their Search and Destroy has been solid all year long. They're trying to fall back on it here. They pick up the first round, and they're able to, well, they lose the first life here in the second.
Equal though, Hop's top info does go down to Shoofy off on the off angle. You do have that trade back to bring it back by one player, but bomb should go down from Crate. Going to drop it planted towards the staircase as well. So you can't play for those post-plant positions quite a distance away, but Rawson looking for these exit kills. He's going to hop on it. This is what you're talking about. Axie, he knows better.
I would have just been able to gas myself so much there if he did that. That would have been awesome, but instead it doesn't happen. Wow. Hey, watch out for those ninja diffuses. You got to appreciate the bomb check, though. That's really big stuff. You don't want to see that. There's still something happening here, though. Exile in a 1v2 could definitely make it happen. Not for Crit's sake. He's going to come on up and check it at the right time. Big time stuff. They get the 3v1, and that's one of the strategies, right? You could go straight to B, or you can kind of draw things out and go to A. Illini that time, they just try to go for the slam dunk at B.
And they tie us up. 2 attacking rounds in a row. We're going to hop out of that Delta match, though, as it is E4 Knights starting to run away with this series. A battle beforehand between FSU Garnet and Illini Orange. Both teams going to the B site so far. Let's see if we see a change up, and FSU pick up the bomb, and they're headed towards A.
Yeah, now we get to see how the other side of the Express lives, I guess, as Exile is so close to falling there on first blood. That's going to be big information, though, for Illini. You can already see them rotating back. Massive stuff. Really love to see the team coordination. Everybody knows that the hit's coming through at A. Let's see what they can do on the setup.
Rawson's checking every angle he possibly can. You look at number 7, Axie setting up for that flank as well for the late game play. And everybody on FSU pulled together. Crit's going to spot this out. Left with a big one, but traded out instantly by Crit. Cross that map with the 74U. So 3-3. Bomb is down in front of that site as well. And Axie, if you can find Exile, E versus E here. Yeah, Axie gets spotted, so he is going to back on out. Just play that life game. 3-on-3 for the retake. Bomb goes down at A.
I like the repositioning from Exie. He can still make a big play for his team here. He's kind of the one in from behind. So they're going to already start to push forward on this. Everybody hunkering down for FSU Garnet. And it's Exile who's going to come around the corner and die first. Crit with a big opening for his team. They're going to fly on through here. They're playing the corners, the buddy system, the crossfire. Can they still make it happen? Trades have to be there, and they are. Illini, perfect stuff on defense to pick up on the push over to A, rotate on back, and your post-plant setup. Flawless right there.
That was phenomenal from Illini Orange. You saw that Axie got spotted by Exile, and he instantly rotates back over to the middle of the map. So instantly, Exile is going to continue watching the back of his spawn because he didn't see the rotation from Axie come on board. So the fact that he is so drawn towards that one side, he's going to make the misplay, walk right into Axie's rotate. And then from then on, just the flood through top TV. It was just brilliant. They fly over the edge one by one, and they get the right information to get the trades perfect in their favor. Illini Orange, nothing crazy about that round, just a solid retake.
Yeah, and like you say, it was great decision-making from Exie there. He got caught out. He could have tried to still over-aggress there and try to push around on that wide flank. Instead, he rotates on back, goes towards his teammates to show some support, and they're able to pick up the round.
Look at this rotation here. FSU, they didn't even know. Axie walks right up. Chef's pumped out. And he gets a 2-pick for himself. They're going to have a free plant at B and at 4v2 for the post plant.
They're having so much success over here at B with these opening kills. They just keep on going there because it's not like it's broken at all. Don't fix it. Now you got FSU. They're going to have to try to make something miraculous happen. As Exile goes down, it's all into the shoulders of Lep, and this is so difficult to do. There's so many different positions you can be playing over here at B. Long-range shots were good into Shufi, but yeah, 1v4, it's not going to happen. Another great round from Illini. They're so confident going to B.
Not one bit. Illini is feeling good right now at this. And I was talking about the momentum between both of these teams before that map number 1 cam. And right now, you see Illini come out with heat in that hard point. And now, keeping it going into the Search and Destroy. 3 rounds in a row at the moment. We get a look in at that Delta stream, and E4 Knights banking on map point right here to go 2-0 in their series. So feel good games all around for these teams.
Losers bracket going crazy right now. And yeah, they're 1 round away from it, so we'll definitely have to pay attention to the picture-in-picture as Illini try to extend their lead. They're looking pretty good. Eagles caught. They're going to win that round. That's massive. They're going to at least extend it to 1 more. As things taking place here, FSU Garnet going back to A. They say, we're going to try it one more time on you. Let's see what Illini has up their sleeve this time.
Shufi working alongside Axie for this flank. Exile doesn't spot it this time around, though. He's going to keep watching that. See if Exile gets some good timing. Axie's going to spot him out, so Exile is just going to play his life. The nade, not going to connect. Bomb is down, but a 2-2 pinch from Illini for this retake.
This time it's coming from all angles. Ghosty starting to move forward. This is insane. 25 seconds still on the bomb. Nobody's died yet. Finally, first blood goes to Illini. That's going to be massive. Everybody makes their play at the same time. 3 go down in the feed, all up to Rosin, and they're able to clean it on up. That's just a perfect timing with their decision-making. Everybody pouncing at exactly the right moment. And FSU just can't handle the barrage.
FSU just can't handle Illini. Every single setup is picture perfect from this squad. And you see that late first blood came in from Exie up top, and then the drop down onto Ross and just put that nail in the coffin. Brilliant from this squad. And there you have it on that look in for the Delta match. E4 Knights take home the Express Search and Destroy, and they go up 2-0 in their series. So they cement themselves on series point over the Eagles COD Gold Squad. CCL playoffs, man. It's another animal.
That series ain't over yet, though. I mean, that's going to be an interesting one to pay attention to. Yeah, huge stuff for E4. Absolutely right, going up 2-0. But you have to think Eagles COD, they got it in them to retaliate. As again, we go back to A. Now it's Illini trying to do it. Shufi going to fall early, so this is going to make things more difficult.
They've gone B constantly, so taking a hit at this A side, we get to see the defense of FSU on the opposite side. So far, so good. 2 down for Illini. A big change in pace. Lepto gets caught out by Axie as he's trying to rotate into the train, and now that brings it a little bit more interesting to the favor of Illini Orange. They are down 2 and 3, but Equal hitting that flank is spotted by Axie, and that they know it's a 2v2 on the A site between Rawson and Exile, and they're going to be fighting for this equalizer. Rawson goes down now. That is a good chance for Illini to make a big statement here.
Exie and Ghosty both able to find their own picks. Yeah, draw this thing even. Still 30 seconds. You got options ahead of you if you want to try to rotate it through B and look for this last kill, or this second to last kill, I should say. They're both going to go for it. You have to hope for the trade.
Wow.
There, Exile, massive plays with his Krieg. 2 in a row there to close out the round. That could have got interesting if he doesn't find both.
He had to play his life so Equal could get to this fight, but the fact that Equal was making a long distance rotation, he just backs all the way up into the site. They don't even know he's going to be sitting in the back of their spawn, and as soon as they pull on out right into that Krieg sight line, FSU Garnet stop the momentum of Illini with an important round.
East mode shots right there from Exile, massively clutch. And yeah, like I said, I think that could have gotten pretty interesting if he doesn't find both kills with him and Equal being so separated on the map. Either way, it's a big one because, yeah, that stops the bleeding a bit for FSU Garnet. Now you're still in this game, but you need to win a big offense.
Nobody's here to stop this attack. FSU, uncontested. You got to look at number 6, Ghosty, on that AR. Has the sight lines, but not able to find a kill here. So the plan's going to come out. A 4v4 for the retake. We saw how this went last time, and already Ghosty with a first blood on that attack. You're looking at this pool coming through from Illini.
Yeah, live starting to fall for both teams. It's Garnet now in the 2v3, all up to Rosin. He's going to be able to find that first kill to make it a 1v2, and he has the bomb down. Still, there's 30 seconds on the clock for these players to try to make it happen
XD.
together. The first kill. Now the second one comes up. The challenge with the Diamati's good. Big two-piece coming in there to make it a 3v4. Massive plays for FSU Garnet. And it's all on Rosin here. He makes the 1v3 happen, Seymour.
That's a championship play if I've ever seen one. Rosin throws the nade to duke it out, takes the one-on-one for Exy, who has his back turned to this player, and then the Diamante for the cherry on top. Sheesh. FSU Garnet. They got the ice as well.
Respectfully. Oh, I don't do that good at all. That was pretty cringe. But no, that's unbelievable plays right there for Rosin. Massive, massive stuff. And he kind of just waits out for the perfect moment. He's hiding in that little train car, able to draw that first kill, and the other two players are rotating over. Gets pretty good timing as the defuse had to come through. Massive stuff as we go into a quick one here in the next one.
Playoff Brit. You know him. We know him. But so does the Grave as well. Lep finds that kill on the cross. Exy gets the trade. Back and forth these teams go. And in the back, Exy turns his back to Equal. And Equal says, no, sirree. You're going down. All up to Ghosty here. 1v3. He can find one. It'll make it interesting. But he has to take 3 separate individual gunfights if he wants to make this happen. And the Craig for these up-close battles is going to be a tough one.
I was going to say he has the element of surprise in his advantage, but I don't even know if that's going to help him here because these players are so close by to each other. They're probably just going to play their lives well and look for the trade, the bait and switch, I should say. And yeah, Equal's going to play his life. Now Ghosty's caught out. He's stuck in the middle here in a sandwich, in a pickle. Tries to make his way out of it. He's actually going to be able to sneak on in. They don't see him. They don't hear him. He's going to get the first kill on the Equal. Let's see what he can do with this now. It's a 1v2.
And look at the reaction from FSU. They all back up to their corners. Lep right around this. Is he going to be ready for it? He is, but still Lep hot on his trail. FSU Garnet climb on back. 3 rounds in a row, and we're tied up.
They had to be a little careful there. They started to kind of separate. Everybody split up like they were looking for clues, Shaggy. But no, they needed to kind of stay together there. Left gets pretty lucky there to have the SMG as the close corner engagement. He wins it. Big time stuff for FSU Garnet, though. They have the life advantage. Now they make it 4-4. It was Illini who jumped out early. Now things are tied up.
Man, on the Delta stream, this series is just rolling through. It doesn't know when to stop. Eagles caught into this control on checkmate. Already up around, but aside from that, this banger on Bravo is just going to be sought out for. Axie peeks a little bit too far. Exile's going to rip his head off. And now it's Shufi to turn up big on the B-side. Already good for 1, but walking right into Equal for a second towards FSU Garnet. Trades back and forth, and line eyes down to Ghosty. If anybody's going to be in this position that you'd want, it's going to be this player.
They said, let's stop wasting time. Both teams now are just committing to B and just letting the gunfights rip right off the start. Now Ghosty in a 1v2 is going to try to be repositioning himself, about to come up onto Rosin, and he's ready for him. Right place at the right time. FSU Garnet, now they're bringing it back. They're starting to find momentum. Illini have to be careful. Now their backs against the wall. Could be seeing the series even up here, but Illini have looked pretty good in this map. You have to think they should have a last-second retaliation in them.
Cam! FSU flipped a switch!
Like out of nowhere, blink of an eye.
5-4 now. On map point, looking to tie us up 1 apiece against Illini Orange. Illini had what? 3 rounds in a row, split the momentum, then took their 4th, and now they haven't found a single one since. 5-4 FSU climb on back, and it's been these first bloods that have been favoring them again and again. Looking at an A hit this time around for Illini Orange. Haven't checked top TV yet, and that is going to be your downfall because Rosin sitting up top is going to take down Crit.
So much momentum right now for FSU Garnet. They're taking these challenges so confidently. Now you're kind of stuck over here at A, hoping you can find the pick. Trying to play the buddy system here. Bait and switch is all going to come into play, but you dropped the bomb as well, so you got to go retrieve that. They are able to get it. Do they want to continue pushing here at A, or... I mean, number 8 is trying to play that flank right now, but eventually he might have to come over and support.
It's going to be a big opening for Illini Orange. Lep watching the cross Exile over his shoulder. They spot out Exy in the shoulder peak. So they know this attack still come to the A side. You're going to drop a trophy for that just extra help to clear out those projectiles. 26 seconds to make a move. Illini Orange caught between a rock and a hard place at the moment. Nades are going to drop on down. Axie might have found an opening here. You got to take on to left. Now Axie's down. Suddenly this is doable. Bob's going to go down at A. Equal finds his way into the TV room. Doesn't spot it out. Ghosty Equal actually caught out by Shufi. Rawson with the shot punch. Left alone now. Equal in the back. FSU Garnet falling at the seam, suddenly a 1-on-2, favoring Illini Orange here.
Oh my gosh, they're flipping this round on its head. Equal, though, going to make it a 1v1. Xe comes on through, and he's able to win the gunfight. Illini going to extend this one. Unbelievable plays. They completely make something out of nothing. And we're going to a round 11 now, Seymour. It was a 3v4, and they're able to flip it on its head and win it. Massive plays out of Illini.
It's that timing that Lep had with Xe around the corner. Doesn't catch that player off, and as soon as the call comes in, it's a little bit of hesitation from Lep that has him go down for that first blood. Those first bloods so crucial, but Illini Orange battled back from the deficit. Give us the round 11 on attack. FSU Garnet. Lep left alone at the B side, looking to make something big happen, but Crit and Shoofy, 2 players make it 3. All 4 go down, and Illini Orange, they say no.
Wow. I mean, they were so strong at B all game long. It comes down to round 11. What are you going to pull out? They go right back to what was working for him in the beginning. Straight to B. A big pick off the start. And Shoofy with the God nade, able to find 2. Massive plays from Illini. They almost let it slip there in the end, but they're going to go up 2-0.
Absolutely brilliant from Illini Orange. 2 maps in a row now over FSU. What did I say at the start? What did I say? That momentum from map 1 is going to carry on to that map 2. Illini showing their strengths here in this series. FSU Garnet has to commit the reverse sweep, and checkmate control is going to be where they start that. It's all going to come up shortly. But before that, a quick break. FSU Garnet at the moment looking for the sweep. And after a crazy map number 2, I gotta say, I want to take a look back at this. That round number 10 was crazy. It was so pivotal. Cam, why don't you walk us through what we just saw?
Yeah, so if you remember, it's a huge first blood that goes over to FSU Garnet. All of a sudden, Illini back against the wall are down in a 4v3. You got these 2 players over here for FSU Garnet who are kind of far away from the action, so that's going to come back to kind of bite them as we cue this one on up. And you see, Illini realize they have to make this move, obviously, with the clock ticking down. They get ready to force it on in. Exile's firing down the shots. It's not going to make anything easy, but you still have these players over here that are so far away from the action. They're realizing that this is the moment that everything's taking place. They have to hustle on over. Xe's able to kind of be a distraction. Shoofy finds that huge trade, big timing that gets picked up there. And then Xe pushes right on out. Nice jump challenge onto Exile. That's the huge opening. These last 2 players are the ones that are rotating back around after being all the way up here. And it's just Illini taking advantage of good timing, yes, but at the same time, just unbelievable plays to be down in the round like that. This is one that they needed to win, obviously, to force it to round 11, where they went on to win it. Then you got Shoofy with a big trade there. Becomes a 2v1. Equal doesn't pull it out in the end. You got the trade that takes place, and Xe gets the final kill. But just crazy stuff to see. It didn't feel like Illini had any chance of winning that round when the clock goes all the way down that low. But they still come out and do it, and then Xe with that final kill. Unbelievable stuff, Seymour. Now they go up 2-0 in the series. FSU Garnet, yes, they were kind of falling back on that search and destroy. They can do the same thing here with control. I feel like they're not too worried right now. I think they have a pretty solid chance at least extending this to more maps.
And you want to know something? Equal was so close to finding that last kill in the 1v2 as well. He got the first shots off, just was a little bit weak after that first one-on-1. So that player on Illini couldn't take the win, and then followed up into that round 11, a full flawless for Illini Orange. They just wiped the floor with FSU Garnet. But now we're heading into checkmate control. Big swing map right now that FSU Garnet has to win if they want to keep their CCL playoffs alive. So talk to me a little bit about this FSU Garnet squad and their checkmate control series.
It's been one of their best maps all year long, or modes, I should say, all year long. When it comes to checkmate, this one's going to be interesting. Again, it's kind of pretty well divided for both teams. It's hard to pick a favorite. I mean, you look at control, they're 0-1 on it so far this year, so there's not a lot of experience. But I think overall, everybody kind of knows checkmate control and what to be doing. For Florida State Garnet, you're just going to have to see players like Rosin. He had a big search and destroy. He needs to carry it into the control. You got to have the positioning up in the top of the plane like we talked about all night long. I mean, that really is the crucial thing when it comes to checkmate in any mode. So we'll definitely be paying attention to that. And then Crit, he's been a little slow in this series. I mean, the first respawn didn't go very much his way. You can't have a star, and everybody can't be the star. But I think for him, he's probably going to be looking to turn things up in map 3.
You know, sometimes playoff Crit has to turn into playoff Illini Orange. And Illini Orange are just on fire right now in their whole squad. That search and destroy, everybody was on all cylinders. I mean, Crit had his moments, Ghosty had his moments, and just everybody was there. I mean, actually hitting those flames was phenomenal. Now you're heading into checkmate, and yeah, I mean, you got to be a little bit worried now, because if you don't recall, in that hard point, FSU Garnet was outslaying Illini Orange. and you're going into a checkmate, which is like we say all year long, it is the love child of Search and Destroy and Hardpoint. And those lives are going to come into a factor a lot more than they did in that hard point. So if you're Illini Orange, you have to be looking to slow down your pacing if you can't keep up with the gunfights against FSU Garnet.
Yeah, and it's really going to be a big test of the composure because not only is checkmate one where you really, control a game mode where you really have to be heightened awareness, always thinking one step ahead, and it's tough to know where people are on the map much more because of all the trades that are taking place. So I think for FSU Garnet, it's going to be a test of their composure. How well are you able to keep your head on tightly so that you know exactly where to be looking with so much pandemonium that can take place on checkmate. Again, that captain, David, he's going to have to play a big role, kind of keeping everybody in the right spot.
Oh, 100%. And I have to give a little bit of props because we did see it off screen, but E4 Knights did come out 3-0 over Eagles COD Gold. And we were both saying that that Eagles COD Gold is a tough team to go against. And for E4 Knights to show up the way that they did, they were on fire behind Jumper and Kyle. And now they go on into their series, into the bracket to go up against Bama Crimson. I have to be saying that I don't want to be one to say it, but E4 Knights playoff run is looking better than ever. But aside from that, I mean, like this E4, like they've surprised me.
Yeah. I was just about to say, this is a big bounce back. It almost feels like for them to go down into losers and to beat a 1 seed. That has to feel really good for Eagles. That's obviously not the result they were looking for. But I think for E4, this is like a big little kick in the rear end that they were looking for. Now they should be ready and poised to go into the next round. But it doesn't get much easier because you have Bama falling down from the winner's bracket.
Oh,
sure,
yeah.
They might have had somewhat of an easy run to get to the point they were at. But this is a really, really good team. They really just throw themselves right at you. They put the ball in your court. They're very aggressive. So for E4 Knights, it's not going to get much easier when you go up against Crimson.
It's scary, too, because Bama came into the losers bracket on the hands of Concord Maroon, and they had a chance to beat Concord Maroon.
Right.
One of the best teams in CCL. So E4 Knights has to be careful because that is a dark horse matchup that you have ahead of you. But out of the macro of CCL playoffs, back into the micro of this this game, checkmate control, Illini Orange looking for the sweep. Talk to me about this map here a little bit. We know what FSU has to do, but what are we looking to see off the bat for checkmate?
Yeah, I mean, oftentimes you see teams going right up for that positioning in the top of the plane, and then after that, you go to A. I think something we haven't seen utilized enough at A is anytime you get the opportunity to push up into that far corner closer to the defensive team spawn, you need to be taking it because it puts a lot of pressure on the defensive team to at least go to the point to try to kill you out of that corner. You're not really visible from a lot of different places, from top lane, for instance. So if you can force up into that position, it just creates a lot more of stress on the defense. So that's definitely one. And then as we talk about the top of the plane, it really reigns king on this map. Whichever team's in control of that can kind of fluctuate to the rest of the map from there. It's really the heart of the map. So whichever team's in control of that heartbeat, it's going to be in a good spot, Seymour.
We're looking at FSU to bounce back and keep their playoff life alive, but right off the bat, Crit almost finding a 2-kill. Going to drop that one player down onto the B site. You're going to take some real estate off that as well. Going to head underneath the plane. Did get spotted out, take a little bit of damage underneath him. Silence for Illini Orange at the moment, and at the flurry, they're only down by 1 life. Crit can make something happen, but Rawson in control off that heart, looking for some control. It's really Crit that's being that outlier right now. Gets on that A site or B site, and he's going to start getting some time.
So fun to see those quiet moments where everybody's kind of just trying to get some information and it all builds up to that breaking point where everything ensues and it's Illini coming out on top of the skirmish. They're going to be the ones positioning. They're getting on both points, which is putting a lot of stress on Garnet. Players are stacking B, getting progress together. A second tick on the way. You still have to think about A over there as well with that's being captured, but Ghosty's just the one being a turret on a 6-kill streak here up on top of the plane.
You talk about a turret. This is a firing range right here. It's a one-man squad. He's going to get that artillery strike. Get the cruise missile. What is this man on today? He is on a different level. 8-0. Hops on this A site looking for a little bit extra. No leads behind him. Great awareness from Ghosty. Almost finding a second onto Exile and that to keep it straight going. But finally a little bit of stability from FSU Garnet after losing the B site.
Yeah, you get the more difficult of the two if you're on offense here in Illini's shoes. So really you could draw this one out and try to play for some kills. Try to play to, in case it goes to that round 5. You kind of have an opportunity on your hands to not think so much about the point. But it should be the easier of the two. Just got to look for that opening when it comes. Exy in a tough spot there, caught out in the open, still able to get the kill on Rosin with some nice movement. Shufi finding one as well. Everybody's starting to fall down for Garnet. They're off spawn. This is your chance to capture A, but again, like I talk about, there's no rush to get there. You can just continue to play for these kills.
Illini Orange is just on one right now. They are ready for the playoffs, and they're trying to make it their own. Shufi was ready for the fight in the top lane, but He's still going to come out on board for the FSU lead. Control from Crit into this tunnel. They're looking, like you say, to just surround this A site, but really play the kills at that. Crit looking for a little bit more, but 2 go down for Illini Orange. 16 lives to 9, 49 seconds left.
You got to play the kills, but you also have to be careful. If an opportunity comes to get on the point, you need to take it to at least find yourself some more time with the contest. They don't seem too worried about it, though. Shroofy, that's a big one. Now your SMG player and Crit's going to move on up. This man can do it all. He's getting on the point now to extend the time. A stack comes together for Garnet. This is probably the closing moment. You might have one last protect.
XC and Equal matching side by side. Rawson finds himself on the point, but can't take down Ghosty. Now Exile gonna take his spot to contest it once more. Left for the counter. The pinch is solid, but the trades come up Illini. 2 left for FSU Garnet and stacking the point. If I was FSU, I don't want to take these fights. You're just dropping the kills that don't need to be dropped. And Illini Orange keep it going 1-0.
And it's this moment here up top. Ghosty's able to really put covering fire down for everybody on the map. He has XE over there at A, and he's got 2 teammates below him at B. He's finding all these kills. He's getting streaks that are going to come up huge later in the game. They're able to get the more difficult site at B, and then you can draw out the round, play for those kills over at A. It's exactly what they do. They win it by 11 lives, so already putting themselves in a good spot if it were to go to around 11. I'm sorry,
it's terrifying to see because it was Ghosty as well in that hard point who was really keeping Illini on his back the whole time. He was the one to get streaks and really make a difference against this FSU squad. Now he has the potential to do it again. You are on attack now for FSU Garnet. You dropped one to Illini, so this almost forces you to commit to an attack and win one of your own.
Could be big for them, yeah, to get control of the top of this plane, but it's Illini who are going to grab it with 3 kills going down. That's your opportunity to move forward. You see them doing it on the minimap. These players coming off spawn, they're in that final 4th of the map. There's nowhere to go right off your spawn. You're instantly taking fire. So much pressure right now coming in from Orange. Massive plays, and these players continuing to die. The influence on the spawns there. They should know that it's by blue.
Shuvi's all the way back garage. Exile with some hot shots, but not ready for Ghosty to be alongside him. Ghosty going for a little bit more, finally cleaned up. It's a 6 life lead in favor of Illini Orange. Make it 7. Rawson and FSU Garnet, they just have to kind of back up here, double down, and try to escape the spawn. They need an exit strategy, Cam.
Yeah, it needs to happen all together. Everybody has to communicate what kill you're going for first, one by one. Make your way out of the spawns, but it's so much easier said than done because the Illini have a really good setup in place. They're making this line of scrimmage so far up on FSU Garnet, and this entire round, they've been stuck in their spawn. It's so difficult. It's frustrating as well. It's really going to test your composure now when you go into the next one. Because this is never fun when you're being spawn trapped like this.
Oh, Illini Orange is on their necks at the moment. XE does make through for another one. He's on a 5 streak before going down, but 10 life lead. And you're going to chalk that one if you're FSU. Down 0-2 in this control. Illini Orange on the brink of a sweep in the losers bracket over FSU Garnet. A game that, in my eyes, had full potential to go to either P squad, and Illini showing up when it counts.
It really is in the pivotal moments that it feels like they're making big plays. And the search and destroy to go down 5-4 and still come out and win it. And then with some of the rotations in map 1, those were huge. Now they still have tons of streaks to work with in this final round to close things out. But again, the spawn trap huge. Now they go back on offense, though. This is a big chance for FSU Garnet to make their way back into the game. It's just a matter of, do those streaks come in to be crucial?
I'd imagine they'd come in here to put the nail in the coffin. It's really going to come down to how FSU handle this side. Playoff Crit setting up for this plane control. So far, so good at the moment, as FSU does not want to challenge him. He's going to drop underneath this wing, left to his left, but he's not going to check that. Some unfortunate timing to pass each other in the night. Hops on the B side. Streaks are going to come out. Not good for anything, so I'll call that to say that's a misuse of the streak, but it puts FSU in the exact position that Illini wants them in.
Yep, this is looking pretty good right now for Illini. Again, in this offense, they're doing a good job. But that's a big kill to slow things down. Crazy shots across the map. You can tell these guys have been practicing shooting the bots in these private matches, whatever you need to do, because those shots are really, really good from long range. But now, you got to try to get these players off the point at B. That's where the focus is going for Illini. They have control of top lane. If you're FSU Garnet, this is big stuff. You're finding some kills, but you still have Ghost in your spawn.
Biting off the head of the snake at the moment. Hops top wing does go down to Rawson. A little bit of stabilization from the side of FSU Garnet. Almost even on the lives, as Equal does bring it down to a 22-19 deficit. So FSU in the lead at the moment. Now it's Illini Orange in their spawn trying to break on out. So this is a big bounce back from FSU Garnet, and they've even gotten a streak out of Illini, which is really big.
Yeah, wasted streak. That's definitely going to make things a little bit easier on you, and they haven't gotten any pressure really at either point. Finally, they're getting back onto B to try to get this second tick, and it's an interesting strategy that Illini have been going with, but it's working out for him. Xy's so hurt right now trying to play his life. His teammates falling all around him, and it's FSU Garnet that are looking pretty good at forcing this to one more round. Left underneath the plane. Finally, the focus towards A, and that's that position I'm talking about, but Crit isn't going to be able to stay alive. Shufi's the next one up. You got to make something happen. Only 5 seconds left.
Win this one-on-one against Lep, it would be big, but the nade is so pivotal in helping him take that kill. And a stun on the Ghosty. FSU Garnet, they take one back, and they're going to keep themselves alive in the control. A big bounce back round, and I have to say the fact that they pulled a streak out, that is the most important thing that FSU got in that round, other than staying in it.
Yeah, that's actually true. They didn't get anything really out of that streak, and I mean, we saw what happened last time, though. FSU Garnet was on offense. They need to be talking about it right now. What's going to be the adjustment we make? And if we start to get spawn trapped, what are we going to do? You have to do something as a team in that situation, because we just saw a couple rounds ago how Illini were able to dominate on defense. And as we watch the ceiling fan spin, we are going to keep this one going. Keeping the fingers crossed, pulling for it, and we're still going here.
Ceiling fan going round and round, exactly like Illini in FSU spawn. 2-1.
Need a big start here.
Stay alive, but they have to win an offense. It's nothing more than that. They have to win an offense, and that is going to be so hard against Illini Orange.
Yeah, and I really think this opening break is crucial in this round, and I think it should be a push towards A. Instead, we're looking for the power positions up here in the top. Lep's going to push on through. He finds that first kill. Rosin's up there with him. Nice to play the trade. Now an opportunity over at B as no one's home. They're going to take it. Good defense over here at A. I think this is the move. We should be able to get reinforcements over there by B.
Lep has streaks now. He's working on that at cruise missile. Not able to get it, but he has the artillery. So even up for the streaks column for both teams. Illini starting to stabilize on their defensive half. And actually, you can see how antsy he is. He wants to push for more. He's just looking for that one kill to give him the space. Shufi's going to be the one to do that. Ghosty for a second, and now this is when it starts getting dangerous.
Absolutely when it starts getting dangerous. If you haven't found much map control on either side, this is when Illini start to put the clamps on you. Crit talking on in, trying to find these kills, able to get the first. Lep, though, has been huge in this round to find some separation. He's going to be good for his teammates to get out of spawn. Exactly what we're talking about. Don't want to get trapped there, but 25 seconds left. You got to start to put your emphasis to one of these sites.
Exactly that. The time is going to be so crucial. Roshan puts his back to Ghosty. Now on the wing, looking for the player pushing into the spawn, but has to clean up this point. Left knows where he is. The Krieg is solid for this gunfight. Still has the cruise missile. Hasn't called it in just yet. Worrying about number 5. Exile in the back of the map is going to take down Crit. But with him getting these kills, it doesn't matter because the kills aren't what is winning you this game. It is the time that's winning you. Down to 2 seconds. Illini Orange, they're going to do it. They're going to move on over FSU Garnet. Such a big series from this Illini Orange squad. A very, very dominant, a very big statement.
They make all the clutch plays in this one, Seymour. This is going to be one they look back on fondly. And for FSU Garnet, yeah, just some things don't go your way. A little bit unfortunate at times. You give them credit. They didn't go down easy. At least they take that one round, and they make that offense pretty interesting as well. I mean, that search and destroy is definitely going to be one that they don't look back on well. That was tough to go up 5-4 and let it slip. But just clutch plays out of Illini, like I say, you got to give them credit as well.
It was that one-on-one between Equal and Xe on that B site. Once that bomb goes down, and then that one-on-one comes in hand, that search and destroy would have been everything if FSU went to a 1-1 tie. Because if it went the distance, if it went to Moscow hardpoint, this would have been a different story the whole way round. But checkmate control, it was in the driver's seat that Illini Orange take the victory, as they were not letting go of FSU on their defense. And they had that first round attack that just gave them the advantage in the whole series. Long Cambert. What an amazing series. Illini Orange, such a dangerous team in the playoffs.
Yeah, an amazing series, and they take some of that momentum as they continue down the bracket in the losers department of it, and it's just massive to get it in that fashion, right? So win it 3-0 has to feel really, really good because we said it at the beginning. It felt like that series could have gone either way. Garnet is a great team, but for Illini, like I say, the clutch plays, they have the experience on their side. Playoff Crit is not looking to go home early, and he's going to pull it out for his team. They win it 3-0. For FSU Garnet, still a great season. I'm sure they're going to come back just as strong next year.
Well, there you have it right ahead of us for this lower bracket. Illini Orange 3-0 victory to move up to take on the loser of CU Ravens. I'm trying to
In Humber
CU
Gold.
Ravens and Humber Gold. It was the CU
I was
Ravens
looking
and
for it
Humber
too.
Gold match. I was looking for it myself. So Humber Gold, CU Ravens tie up 2-1 in favor of Humber, which is surprising to me because Carleton is such a great squad. And Illini Orange coming off that hot 3-0, you have to be thinking that this next game is going to be tough.
Yeah, it's not going to get much easier as they move forward. Again, I think Carleton is this dark horse that everybody's looking at. They can be pretty lethal. We'll have to see who comes out on top of it because Humber Gold is also extremely good. So it's not going to get much easier for Illini, but they have
Not
the
at all.
clutch factor. Like they do have that clutch gene that you need in the playoffs to pull out some of those big time plays down the stretch. We saw that here today. It's going to fare them pretty well moving forward.
You know how I was talking about superstition earlier?
Yeah.
Well, a big superstition that happens is that if you go to collegecod.com/store and purchase one of the merch from CCL, I hear that gives you the ice, that gives you the gunny. You take a look at how beautiful that is. Champion X CCL in the 2021 CCL Armory. collegecod.com/store. Go buy yourself something nice. Buy your family something nice. CCL to the moon. It's because of your love and passion for Call of Duty that we love to do this for you, and this is our time to give back to you for something special. So this is great. I love this. I love what CCL has brought, and this is some of the best merch I've ever seen.
Swaggy is one word to describe it. This stuff is fresh to death, Seymour. I mean, you show up in the CCL merch and people just know that you're not messing around. That stuff is one of a kind, really. It is. And it's something people have been asking for a long time. So you'd be crazy to not go on there and at least think about buying something. I know I copped myself a few pieces, so definitely an awesome looking site.
I heard that it gives you +10 accuracy. Once you put that stuff on, that dad cap, you put that on, you're never gonna miss a shot in your life. But anyway, so Illini Orange 3-0 for the night. This has been lovely, everybody. Coming up soon, it's going to be Mick and Morgan on the Bravo stream. This has been it for myself, Seymour, alongside Cambert. I hope you all have a lovely night. Can't wait to see more Call of Duty.